Starter shotgun.
Hey.
Good thing we're not live or anything right now.
Yeah. Nothing like forever sleep.
The forever sleep.
Yeah, there you go.
Grippy sock Joe.
Velcro to a time bomb.
Stay there.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Keeper. Is that running?
Yeah, we're all live. We live across the board. So,
I like
Mike,
that straw thing on your head.
You ready?
I think I'm finally ready.
All right, cool. Sure, let's go. Hey,
this
guys.
is name pending.
This is Name Pending. I'm Keeper.
I'm Mike Culverson.
Again, we have Celt with us. He's
What?
returned after his long hiatus of never watching our videos.
And we got two of our friends here. This is Rich Bro and Rob.
Hey, girl, hey. Welcome to the podcast.
And as always, we got the Furry Co-Hosts.
We got
They're
Bo
around
Dude
here
back
somewhere.
here hiding. I think
Pearl's in the chair. I'm
Pearl
sure.
is in the chair. Cabo's
She's
over
on the
there.
chair. She's on chair.
Toby is under the table.
As always, she has to hide.
Hmm.
So, eventful week. Not eventful week. It's 4th
It was
of
a
July.
it was a very eventful week because it was just 4th of July. It
So-
was hide from fireworks day.
It was hide for fireworks
Yes.
day. Treason day.
I had to say something about that.
Right, huh?
So,
You have to say
well,
something?
you said eventful, not eventful. I actually had a not eventful, but could have been a very bad eventful week. We went to Padre, took the kids and the wife to South Padre. We left 2 days before the shark attack.
Yep.
Where
Ooh.
4 people apparently were bit by some beached shark that couldn't get away from the jellyfish or whatever. What was crazy though is leading up to it, the seas were bad, the rip currents were bad, the jellyfish were all over the place. So we basically, because of the stinging of the jellyfish and the irritant of that, we just stayed on the beach, right?
Mhm.
So even if there was a shark in the waters, we would have been safe from it. Come back, and I'm like, oh shit, 4th of July. My street normally goes popping crazy. It was such a relief to not hear but 6 or 7 fireworks last night over the course of any period of time. And off in the distance, you could hear, small town, small rich town,
Small town.
almost
You're in
part,
San Antonio.
almost part
You mean like
is a small
subdivision?
town. No, it's a town.
Inside
like-
San Antonio.
Yeah, inside San Antonio, like Alamo Heights, but
This goes into that west and far, far west. and
Yeah,
far,
well.
far,
Yeah.
far west.
yeah.
North
It's San
Central.
Antonio. Let's not confuse
You
it.
know, I get away from that by just not being in fucking San Antonio. Unlike all you heathens.
I don't live in San Antonio.
What,
I
do you
mean-
guys not like fireworks? I don't.
No,
Really?
I don't like fireworks.
no, I hate fireworks.
Most veterans,
Anyone who's been like in the sandbox typically don't like fireworks.
Oh, okay.
Unless
I don't
they're
know
setting
why. I
them
kept
off
thinking you guys
themselves.
did.
for
Yeah,
some
well,
reason, in the psyche, if I'm
I'm
exploding
doing it, it's
things,
different.
it's okay because I'm in control.
Yeah,
But-
our neighborhood, they'll put it out, and we try to be honest to all the veterans because we try not to be sensitive. But like, you're in the wrong neighborhood
Yeah.
if you don't want things. Our neighborhood is typically on the news, because there's not a single street in my neighborhood that doesn't have a fireworks show. Not one.
Pretty much.
You must
Um,
live where Keeper used to live.
Yes. In
Yeah,
the same area.
Redbird Ranch area. Yeah, it's just what everybody does. I mean, I dropped my own little bit of it because I hadn't done my boys in about a year and a half or so. But we do try to let everybody know. It's like, hey, we're doing this. So a lot of them, what to do is they'll just say, okay, I'm going to go somewhere else. Luckily, where we're at, they can go out to Castroville or something, kind of get away from everything.
Yeah.
Helps them out a little bit. But we don't try to lie to them. It's like, listen, this is not where you want to be.
We
This is
gotta be
your
popping
problem.
off shit. Freedom.
And I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's like a few fireworks.
I'm okay with
It makes me a little bit tense, but like I'm fine for the most part. But it's like
but when the
it
repeat
builds,
is
Yeah.
it like after it builds for a while, I'm just like I can't do it anymore.
No, I hear you.
I may have been that guy. I did like 80, maybe 90,
Yep.
mortars this weekend.
But
this
that's
week.
fine
Yeah.
because they are positioned themselves there, right?
Mhm.
So you're living as part of society. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, no. We came up here, we hung out, played Zelda, not Zelda.
Yeah. I keep forgetting what the name of that
Emperor
game is.
Nights.
Ember Knights. That's
I know
right.
the
Is it
name.
not? I mean, did Zelda make a comeback?
What do you mean it's been making a comeback?
Zelda's never died.
Yeah.
Bullshit! It died with with Nintendo's the Super.
I thought it came back with the Switch though.
Dude,
Yeah.
Twilight Princess was the shit.
It didn't die though. Like it's been out and there's been, I don't know, mods on it and it never.
I'm not even a gamer. My son got the Switch, and one of the first games he got was a Zelda game.
Yeah, Breath of the
It's
Wild.
huge.
Breath
It's
of the Wild is probably
phenomenal.
the first
Yeah.
one.
It's a phenomenal game.
And
And
he
it's
never
a- it's
died
a-
because he's been in Mario Kart. He's been in
Yeah.
what was it, Super Smash Bros.
Mhm.
Zelda and Link never fully left. They never died.
Oh, really?
And the game just got more 3D and then updated graphics and
Now I kind of wish Mario would die.
Oh,
I do
Why is
too.
that?
hot take.
I'm
I wish
so,
Sonic would die.
So I am I
don't.
am the kind of he's only saying that because I'm a Sonic fan.
Is that the staple though for Nintendo? Mario?
It is.
It is. He's
So
But so is Sonic.
I've had enough of Mario though.
So-
Sega.
yeah.
Yeah, here.
Sega.
So for many years, I thought I was a Sonic fan,
Mhm.
but then I really like broke it down, and I was like, no, I don't, or not a Sonic fan, a Mario fan. But then I was like, no, I'm not a Mario fan.
You like platformers.
I do like platformers, and I like Sonic specific.
Yeah.
What is a platformer?
It's where you jump from platform to platform. Like
PS1
hardcore.
and Nintendo to Sega.
Oh, okay.
Dreamcast.
So game
Side
platform.
scrollers.
Jaguar.
Yeah.
But okay, but Sega, because Sega's not around anymore,
Sega is around.
Sega's
is
around.
it?
Yeah. Sega's
The-
been
the
producing
game
games for years.
console's
They
still
never
around?
died. The console isn't around.
Mhm.
The game company is still around.
So do they sell to everybody then?
Yeah.
Like to Xbox or to
There's some Sega
Nintendo.
games on Xbox.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, Sega's kind of, I don't know, around. on
do
multiple
you
different
like
platforms.
cross-platform games?
No, you're talking about the distributor. We're not talking about the distributor being Sega. We're talking about the game type.
We're talking about the game company, right? You're talking about the
Oh no,
We're
he's
talking about the
the game
brand.
company. We're talking about the type of game that the company pushed out.
It's
Yeah.
it's a
It being
cross
a platformer,
platform. It's a
he's
cross-playable
stuck
platform.
on it being the distributor
yeah.
being Sega.
Nope.
Yes, you are. That's what you just.
I think
described.
we all are saying something different. What do y'all think?
Well, I think is the point is like Sonic is you think Sega, you think Mario is Nintendo. Period.
Right. But it's no longer that way. Like Apple and Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
You will never. They don't cross. But gaming systems have figured out the smarts of, hey, if we cross-platform, allow these games to be played on other platforms, we'll make more money because somebody's going to be prone to buying an Xbox versus somebody's prone to buy a Nintendo or play on a computer.
Mhm.
So if we make the game available through all platforms and they have to buy it, well, no matter where they buy it from, we're still going to make money on the game. And that's the smart business, right?
Well, yeah, but
Because
it's still just a platforming game, not the platform we're talking about it being played on. I think you're getting those two mixed up. You good?
I'm
So
actually
you're
not
talking
sure.
about the whole online thing experience is what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So, but I thought Sega makes games for every company. It
It
produces
does.
CDs
Yeah.
for every company. But then you have game developers that write different code for each platform, like Sony. I'm sorry, not Sony. Like Nintendo or Xbox. And then they make them available to us through either multi-platform, cross-platforms, or what have you. But I think what was that? PlayStation? Weren't they talking about bringing it across platform for Xbox though? Because I thought that was something that they ended up dropping.
I don't think Sonic is on an Xbox. I do think Sonic is on PlayStation. I can guarantee that.
Sonic is
PlayStation
also,
and Nintendo.
And Nintendo. But
Sonic is also on PC.
Is it PC?
I
Okay.
just don't think it's touched Microsoft with
Okay.
it being Xbox.
Did
but
the PlayStation 6 come out yet?
No,
No.
no. That would have been huge. None of us would be able to afford it because they would all been bought out and been sold by scalpers for 2 years.
And I'd have to
Yeah.
wait for 2-3 years to get one.
They need to put a stop. They need to create some kind of way to stop that.
You can't. Free trade, enterprise. They try
Yeah.
and it's still.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a monopoly, which is also
It's not really a
illegal.
monopoly because those scalpers ended up getting stuck. Tons of them were just stuck with PS5. Just tons of PS5 stacked up because finally production caught up.
Yep.
everyone who didn't want to get scalped by the scalpers just waited long enough.
Mm.
And it was just bad news bears for them. Talking about bad news bears, we have not done book talk.
We haven't done book talk. I was sitting there getting anxious because we have been like deviating for so long, and I was
But
like,
it was
"Oh
such
shit!"
a good deviation.
Was it a good deviation? Because I still think you're confused on
I think you're both confused.
platforms and then
Cross
platforming
platforming it.
versus it being the type of game is a platformer.
I mean, it's the difference between spit or swallow, right?
No,
Not quite.
No, it's not.
Not
It's
quite.
got nothing to do with this.
Or Big Red or Dr. Pepper.
neither.
Oh,
They're
okay.
both trash.
Ooh. Oh, Rich, will you take that?
I don't know. I think I'm still going with Dr. Pepper.
Hey, somebody chug.
Hey, you know what? If I have to go if I'm walking in the store and I want a soda, it's normally going to be Big Red or Dr. Pepper.
If I have to choose one, I'd take Dr. Pepper because Big Red is just disgusting.
Big
Yeah.
Red's delicious.
No.
And you're a
Especially with
sinner.
barbacoa.
No,
It's like a
What are you
bottle of
talking about?
syrup.
you're
It's
from
so
California.
I still like a good Big
Yeah.
Red with some barbacoa.
You like a Big Red something.
I like how the only Texans here is like, yeah, Big Red. It's all you foreigners.
You're not even a Texan. You're from California.
Hey, you said that I was dumped here, therefore I am.
You were dumped here, which is why your cowboy phase has been like 42 years of your 30-year life.
All right, book talk, book talk.
Right.
Enough
Hey,
of the
so I
squirrel
need you to
talk.
shut the fuck up so I can do book talk.
That was
Lunch
direct.
for me.
That's your one F-bomb you're allowed in the first few minutes. There you go.
Yeah, no, we've had enough time go by.
Oh, okay.
It's like 60 seconds.
It's a minute.
Ah,
And as long as you don't, I think, have
Thanks,
more
YouTube.
than so many in a certain amount of time.
there you go. All right, what's the book of the
Is
day?
this by Will White?
No,
Oh.
no.
A new author. We've expanded our horizon.
This is a new old author that I cycle back through every now
Recycle
and then.
bin,
Yeah,
okay.
recycle bin. But it is one I wanted to bring up on Book Talk because I like it. It is called Two Necromancers, a Bureaucrat, and a Army of Golem.
Totally thought this was
Say
taking a
that
turn.
3 times fast.
The,
That's the
Bureau-
title?
Two necromancers, a lawyer,
Bureaucrat.
and your
Uh-huh.
mistaken sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Say the title again, because that was
Two Necromancers, a
Okay.
Bureaucrat, and an Army of Golem.
Golems.
Go.
Golem.
Right.
Golem. Golem.
Army of Golem.
By LG Estrella. Okay. So let me set the premise for you.
I'm waiting for it to be said.
When you start out, you are
Reading.
you're reading. You're meeting a necromancer who is in the process of bludgeoning to death one of his creations which rebelled against him.
One of the two necromancers.
One of the two necromancers. The other one is his 10-year-old precocious apprentice.
Apprentice.
He sits there and goes, you know, I don't have a retirement plan. This kind of sucks. You know, being a necromancer it's hard to build a retirement plan. So he goes, how about we get a pardon through the country? He's like, I pay taxes. How can I get a pardon for being a necromancer? And some of the bad stuff he did, because nothing he did was too bad, right?
Allegedly.
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 Isn't that good?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
There's no proof. No
So,
one's been taken to court
They
yet.
sign up a letter. Although his apprentice does want to put it on human skin, he convinces her that, you know, the council will not be a fan of that. And so they send it in. And they get their pardon. Well, they
Human
don't get their
flesh.
pardon. They get, like, a set of missions that they have to complete for the council to work towards their pardon.
Pretty much an apology.
Okay.
Like, they gotta do things for an apology.
Now, they're not going to stop being necromancers.
Sure.
They just don't get caught doing bad stuff, right?
Allegedly doing
Allegedly doing bad stuff. So as you go along, so this is the initial setup. So as you go along, we meet the apprentice's minions, which is an army of intelligent ninja rats
Squirrels.
that can turn invisible.
Where?
We meet a pyromaniac elf with very powerful fire magic.
So
Okay.
Mike with Diesel.
You just can't set fire. So,
Properly. Can't do them properly.
they fight a dragon, they fight golems, they fight a demon lord. They meet a old man who has a mysterious past that potentially leads to him being a supreme swordsman. And the fun it's a book series that's meant to be a lot of fun.
That's fine.
Like, it doesn't take itself serious,
Mhm.
right?
Sounds like it's enough
It
to
talk-
touch every different
It talks
of people.
It talks about the practicalities of don't just sit on your gold. If you're going to go and invade a tomb, take the gold that you get from that tomb and put that into a business so that you can make your money work for yourself. And so there's
It's like Rich Dad Poor Dad, but for like nerds. Or...
I guess
Okay.
they get a baby dragon at some point,
Mhm.
and it's
And the dragon calls you daddy.
but it's honestly, it's just a very fun series. It's very lighthearted. As you get deeper into it, it starts to there's some more serious elements that crop up.
Mhm.
But very much in the first book or two, it's very lighthearted and it's just a lot of fun.
Interesting. 2 necromancers in 1 cup. That's what I heard.
Is it a cup or is it a chalice?
Ooh,
Ooh,
interesting.
yeah.
Which time period is this in?
So it's in a fictional world.
Great.
Swords
All
and-
your stuff is fiction. That doesn't change
Back in the
anything.
days and that.
Swords and sorcery.
But do they have modern technology?
Not really. I mean, they have cannons, kind of.
Modern
Is it laser
No.
cannon?
technology.
So the task they wanted to do, is it like they know these guys do some evil stuff, they want to do evil things, or are they trying to have them repent?
No, they're trying to have them do stuff that helps the country.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, like good.
they sent them off. Like, one of their missions was they had hired a dwarf to build self-replicating golem.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
The golem, the dwarf ran off with their funds, and the golem went off on its own and started doing its own shit, and it became an issue. And so they said, okay, well, you're a necromancer. They're self-replicating golems. We need you to march your army of zombies out there and fight the golem. And they're essentially solving problems for them one step at a time.
So they have a good HR department.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can't
So
do the
pretty
bad
much-
stuff. You got to do the good stuff.
Became sentient in a way.
Yes,
Sentient golems.
more or less. It's a lot of fun. I really enjoy the series.
And what was the series again before we see if Rich Bro and Rob read?
They don't.
so-
None of my friends read.
That what is
Me neither.
defined as reading though? Is because I do Audible, but I feel like it's cheating.
That's still
Audible
reading.
counts.
Audible is not
Audible
cheating.
counts. 2 necromancers, a bureaucrat, and an army of gold.
By
LG Estrella.
How
okay.
do you spell that?
ASTERILLA DIC.
Yeah, he got it.
That's
He can
pronounced.
spell better than we can.
Good.
That's
I
pronounced-
never said I could spell.
It's pronounced Estrella,
No, there you go. Well,
which means
Oh.
star.
but you know, Rich Bro was talking before you so rudely cut him
Yeah,
off.
shut the fuck up.
He was saying how he was reading a book on
Yep.
Audible.
I don't even read, and
What
I
do
can
you
say
read?
shit better.
I'm reading Hyperion.
Hyperion.
So it's kind of futuristic.
The company from Borderland?
What was that?
The
Hyperion?
company from Borderlands.
Oh no, but it's got a lot of Borderland kind of stuff in it. It's like post-apocalyptic. It's
Okay.
like science fiction. It's based out in the future. But like it kind of starts off with like a massive like meeting where all these different characters are meeting to go to a specific area to help save the world.
Is it the world or
Post-apocalyptic
galaxy?
pop.
It's
Go
like,
look
well, I would say it's probably the galaxy actually. And because there's a lot of different planets and races and alien races involved in it.
Who's winning?
You know, you have to read the book, I guess. But
where are they saving the galaxy from?
so that's the part that kind of confuses me about it.
Hmm.
So there seems to be some sort of time thing that goes on, and it makes people either younger or older, and each person has like their own like set of devices that they want to do or accomplish with it. It's a mixture of like religion and science fiction, like technology of like AI. So that's where it kind of jumps around and it kind of confuses me, but it tells the story of each character that's involved, and sometimes it gets a little confusing because I mean there's like different people talking, different voices, and then every now and then I got stuff playing.
There's no one main character that it follows. It touches a myriad of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different characters that they all are somehow interconnected.
Interesting. And what's this book series?
It's the Hyperion.
Who's it by?
Oh, I forgot.
You got your phone.
I have to look it up.
Yeah,
here.
you know we have phones now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue bringing it up.
Dudding, have I convinced you yet to start doing audiobooks?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay, well then we'll move from books
Yeah.
and we're
I
going
still
to
I'm earning credits, and I got a warning email
that you're gonna lose them.
that I'm gonna start losing credits if I don't start using them. I've got 10 in the back.
Well, then start using them. What movie have you watched recently that like lives, even if it's an older movie? Older, anything.
Lives. What do you mean by
Lives.
that?
So it was memorable. So I just watched Inside Out 2.
Okay.
I was like, okay, that was
That
pretty
connects
good.
for an adult too.
It was like yeah, it does. It was interesting.
Yeah.
And that was the most recent one. But if you're not doing audibles or
All right.
reading,
The two most recent movies that I watched, I
even
quite
TV
enjoyed.
shows, it could be TV
Sure.
shows too.
Dune 2 was much better than the first Dune that came out.
The original
Well, no, the remake, whatever they just
Okay.
did recently.
Dune
The
2
first
Part
Dune,
2.
yeah, part 2. The first one was a little slow.
Okay.
This one definitely amped it up, and the story got much better.
Yeah,
I heard
the
it was,
first one.
um,
There was a
longer
lot of
one,
character
too.
development in the first part.
Yeah,
though.
they had to build it. I understood that, but this one it was like they kept on with really good character development, but then like stuff started to happen.
Oh, go ahead.
So when I didn't finish, I meant to go back and finish watching the first one.
Mhm.
Where did they stop in the first one and pick up in the second one? Because I've read the
So-
book, obviously.
So
They
in
did
the
better
first
than
one, they pretty much
Like
stopped
10
at
times.
for the most part is where they really the main character and his mom kind of get, I don't want to say captured, but they get put into with the sand people,
Yeah.
and they kind of do their thing, and that's pretty much where that kind
Yeah,
of
they
ends.
Then
start.
it stopped.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
see all the
So
religion
then,
around
so
them.
then they kick off with the next one, and they realize like, oh, these people see him as a messiah, possibly.
Yeah.
And what he has to do is he has to kind of prove himself, and they really played on that really well because he has to literally fight
Yeah,
to make this
he has
happen,
to earn his right.
and he makes it all happen. And quite enjoyed that one. The next one I enjoyed, I thought was the best movie of last year. That was Godzilla -1.
I
Usually,
still haven't seen
usually Godzilla is like
Dude,
you
that
think
one was good.
yeah, you think it's kind of campy.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, you start with a kamikaze pilot
Yeah.
in World War II, and he can't do it.
Don't give away the
Yeah, I won't.
end because the end is amazingly
yeah,
awesome.
I won't. He just can't do it.
This is Godzilla.
So
Godzilla.
So-
Minus one.
Which one is this? Godzilla
minus
what?
one.
Minus one.
Minus one.
Yeah.
I'll have to
Oh,
watch
It
I
is
tell you what.
amazing.
It find a way to watch it. It
legally.
every
please
single other
legally
Godzilla
find a way to
movie I
watch
ever
it.
watched, it puts it to shame. It absolutely puts it to shame. And what was awesome about it, their entire budget, right, was under $20 million.
Really?
Yep.
Holy cow.
Under $20 million.
Well, it was
And-
also shot in Japan or Taiwan
Yeah.
or China. One of those three.
It's all in Japanese, so you have to read subtitles. But I tell you what, it's
Oh,
one-
even better.
it's
I can throw it up.
100% worth it.
They did
Yeah.
release it with the
Dubbed
dubbing
over.
over.
they did
It's
dub
kinda
it over
odd,
with
though.
English.
Yeah.
I like.
Does it have good dub?
I like how
Yeah,
we
it's
have.
a good
It's
dub.
pretty good. Yeah.
I like
Okay.
how we have the most Asian-looking guy out here. He's like, oh, they have it dubbed up.
Here's the thing too about it. Here's the thing about that too. You know, normally though, when it's filmed in a foreign country, the dubbing is quite shit. Actually,
I
mean,
actually
even-
find it more enjoyable.
even a lot of these French movies that are coming out, or Dutch movies that are coming out that are dubbed in English, you can tell it's dubbed because the audio is so much more muted. Like the voice is so much more muted.
Yeah.
It's studio recorded,
There
right?
there was one I watched. It was World War II. I think it was Dutch or French, but it was World War II talking about Germany and
Yeah.
in World War One. It was actually really, really good, but it
Yeah.
was all dubbed over and
But the way they shot the angles for this Godzilla -1 made it easy to dub it without the connotation of that, that 1980s
Their mouth is still moving.
karate.
Yeah.
I take up my
Yeah.
right, like
Yes. 100%.
like
Yep.
it's going here,
Yeah.
right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, but it made it very enjoyable
Mhm.
to watch. The way they were able to do the angle cuts, the way they shot it, the CG graphics, like everything about the film was absolutely amazing. Even especially the writing and the acting together, phenomenal film.
Yeah, I
Definitely-
was really happy
definitely a good
because
watch.
the movie theater near my house was playing it still, and the reviewer called Critical Drinker online, and he doesn't give really good rave reviews unless it's really solid, and he gave it his movie of the year, and I was like, okay, he had my interest. I watched a little bit more. I'm like, okay, it's there, and I can go see it on a certain day. I'm like, let me just go see this, and my boys even told me after minutes, I mean, they've seen the Marvel movies, everything like that. To be in the cinema to watch that, how they did it, and even with the surround sound, this was amazing for under $20 million.
Yep.
But
I don't know
hey,
if anything touched that.
we're gonna have to go into intermission now.
Intermission.
All right.
We'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I love the
Take it
music
away.
you guys do, by the way.
Pour that drink out for me, baby. One for your homies.
Okay.
I got the drink for my dead homie.
Don't spit on me.
Nope.
Still can't do it.
Props to you, Wolf. I don't know how. That's disgusting.
Jack Daniels?
No, it's
Cayman
Cayman
Jack.
Jack.
Margarita in a can.
It
It
is.
is the most disgusting.
But you know,
It's-
we had what, 12 of them
Yeah.
here? We had a whole fucking case.
Yeah.
Like, I'll start killing through them.
Because they were just living in my fridge.
And
Yeah.
my old roommate, brother, Wolf, loved them.
Oh.
It's like, nope, I can't do it. It's
Great
disgusting.
guy, did not have good taste.
Poor taste. Poor taste.
I mean, he was friends with him.
No, yeah. What does that say for you, though?
Ah, but say, man, you know.
I mean, apple doesn't fall far from the cedar tree.
So you just like have random people leave
gotta get my
drinks
big-ass
here,
jug.
and then you guys finish them off.
I
Finish what
mean,
up?
you bring drinks over to someone's house, and that's just where they live when
Yeah.
you're done.
Wow.
Yeah,
He
just
provi-
bring them
He
home.
provides the steaks, you bring the drinks, and so this is a social contract.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of my rules. It's like if I bring a case of beer somewhere,
It's not coming back home. with
it
me.
doesing come back
Oh.
with me.
Well, I usually finish it. That's all I was kind of.
Normally, the only thing that comes back home with me is if I bring excessive of one type of food over.
Okay.
It's like, I'm not going to finish that. So, Rob, we were talking about something off podcast. Before we started, I was like, oh, hold it.
Okay. All right, so it was an interesting little tidbit. So,
But
We-
give us a backstory before we fully
Sure.
dive into it.
sure, absolutely. So, the big talk is like, hey, is World War III about to happen, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's a lot of seeds that are kind of being planted, right? One of the seeds we got last week, we were like wondering, why do these airmen have 2027 on their shoulder things, right? And, I thought, hey, maybe that's like the date of their reenlistment or something of this nature. No, apparently that's the date that China's supposed to take over Taiwan and shit's supposed to kick off, so we have to stay vigilant, right? This got me thinking, it's like, well, where's those things happen, right? We're literally fighting a proxy war right now with Ukraine because here we are, just the industrial military complex is doing its thing, which, hey, I'm not going to lie, we're literally profiting it from, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a hypocrite here, all right? But it was interesting because what I was watching today was, so here's what's happening in Ukraine right now, is they have these groups of people that, because they're not getting enough people to volunteer for the Ukrainian army, okay? So what they're doing is they're going through Ukraine. If they see a man, basically over the age of 16 with a family, they're literally kidnapping them so they can put them in their military.
Sounds about right.
They're grabbing them off the street, pulling them from their family, and say, "You're coming to fight right now."
I mean, that's
I mean, that's on par for what Russia's done before.
Well, and
Ukraine.
that's
no, that's
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Ukraine's
but
Ukraine's
doing
doing this.
Yeah.
That's
This is
that's on
Russia.
par with what armies or vigilantes in Africa have done for
I don't.
Yes.
The
decades.
warlords are completely different. They
Yeah.
just.
So, you know,
So
but
you're
this
saying
we
Ukraine
just
is
signed a
becoming-
10-year agreement
Yes.
to basically fund this war. We just signed it. We just signed a
Becoming
10-year
a
agreement to
blood
fund
war.
this war with the Ukraine and Russia.
I mean, no, I thought we signed this back in like 2017.
Well,
2018.
so this was like a renewal, basically. A renewal and an extension. Maybe it has option years. I'm sure we're probably going to have a change in leadership here in the next, 6-8 months.
So now
I don't want to fucking fund
we're
another war.
supporting
No, I don't
another
want to fund
warlord.
another war either, and I definitely don't want our
You know,
troops
but
going to
They like to put it in
Ukraine
these
to fight for
rose-colored
this either.
glasses, right? It's not a warlord. It's freedom and everything like that. When you look back at it, it's a pretty ugly story how it all began. It's like there was a peace agreement. They had agreed on peace terms. Ukraine and Russia had agreed. We literally sent a convoy
to fuck with
to
it.
Ukraine and said, don't accept that deal. Which I only left one option, war. And it's like, why did we? They had agreed on a peace agreement.
I
And
think this.
Well, that's
What I
due to
hate-
some old senile idiot in the office right now.
No, I think this
Well-
goes back to America just needs to back out and stop being the police for the freaking world.
We're not the
Well-
world police.
there's a time you have to go to war, right? There just is, right? But the whole time is you're trying to get one of the sides to capitulate and say, let's come up with a real peace agreement, right? That should be the whole thing to end war. War is terrible, right?
No.
War
Yeah,
is
no
hell.
one wants to be in war.
Anybody who's ever been in combat, everybody I've ever talked to,
Oh,
they've
no,
been
war's good
bullets
for
are
the
flying over
economy,
things.
though.
Nobody wants this thing. The goal should be to come to a peace agreement. Is one side going to have to give up something? The other side will give up something? Absolutely. Nobody's going to be happy.
Right.
But the idea is to come to an agreement. And
Yeah,
the
nobody
fact is
wins
that
in a fight.
there was an agreement on the table. It was agreed to, and then we came in like a bull in a china shop and just blew it all up.
Well, that's what we do best.
No, I mean that's pretty bog standard. The only reason that we're hearing about it because we've been doing this.
Yes.
We've been doing this forever now.
Yeah.
Like this is just bog standard. The only reason that people are even hearing about it is just because of the movement of information nowadays.
Yeah.
It's so much easier.
News, information across the board.
The
I
only
mean,
the
we
only
did this with
reason
the Bay of Pigs. We did this with
Yeah.
Cuba. We did this.
And what's disappointing
We've
is
always
like,
done
but
this.
we haven't come by and say, oh, we just didn't like that peace agreement. We wanted better terms. So maybe this whole time we should have been
I don't
negotiating
think
what
it's
we
so
thought
much
better
on
terms were.
them.
But we haven't
No.
done any of that.
I think it's
Zero.
on us. We didn't like the peace agreement.
right
Yeah,
because it
But we
affects
haven't even
us.
come up with a counter.
No. Hold on. So, let's take the last 20 years, right?
Yep.
Of wars that we've gone to.
2004 so this is after 9/11.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, make it 30 years.
Sure,
30
sure,
years.
All right, so now we're
Let's
talking
go back
about
to
the
Gulf War.
Yep.
Okay.
So
The only
1987.
somewhere around there. The only reason why, let's say since the 80s, that we have gone to war, and I'm not even gonna go back in time because it's the
We've
same
gone in
shit over
conflict.
and over and over.
Conflict.
We go into conflict or
Yep.
we go in to back some country up only if it suits the benefit of the United States. If it does not suit the benefit of the United States, we say, fuck you, you're done, we're out.
Mhm.
You know?
Which I get, and when you are a world power at our level, like don't get me wrong.
Back to back World War champions.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be I'm going to be two-faced about this
Let's
one,
go.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, I do not like the fact that we're involved in so many proxy wars. However, if you are an empire, you have to be involved in proxy wars.
To some level, yes. To some degree, I
Yes.
would agree. The degree that we've been involved in,
Has been a bit much.
I think, is a little bit wrong.
Yeah, and I think one of the questions is, I think for the longest time, we always felt like we had a moral compass when it came to what we were going to go do, right?
We used to.
Now, there was a balance there. Yeah, like there was an oil thing, but then there was actually a bad person that needed to go, that whole thing.
Yeah.
That
And-
we also funded and
Yeah, and it's like,
gave
you know,
power to.
it's just funny because
that we trained.
we had come to where we actually, at some point, not that long ago, had a decent relationship with Russia and Putin and all them. We knew who Putin was down low.
Yeah.
Ex KGB, the whole thing like that. There was no
I mean, we know who we go into bed with.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah.
We
But,
we've
you know,
known
we've
it
gone
with
in-
We have a
every
saying.
single.
We have a saying in San Antonio. You can take the chola out of the west side, but you can't take the west side out of the chola.
Yes, sir.
Right? Same thing.
Yeah.
You can
I'm
take Putin
white.
out of the KGB, but you can't take the KGB
No.
out of Putin, right?
Yeah.
So
I guess
you
that's the
can't
same
you
thing.
can't take the
That's
gangster
important.
out. You can't take the gangster out of somebody just because you move them from city to city,
Yeah.
right? So the history is there. The upbringing is there. The way they act is there. It doesn't change just because, oh well, it's been 10 years later. You know, what needs to happen is a systemic change, right?
Yep.
But again, that's leading up to World War III. Because ain't nobody gonna drop their pride
Yeah.
and say, hey, you know what? You're right. This is a good way to change shit. Let's do it. Let's agree to agree instead of agree to disagree, right? And ain't nobody gonna do that, because then that means that somebody has to admit they're wrong.
Well,
And
and
it's
realistically,
right- yeah, go ahead.
realistically, I think that there is an issue with, and we know it. We see these cycles, but too many first world countries have been too peaceful for too long, right? And
India.
so we are
India is a big staple.
Oh
in
yeah,
this.
absolutely.
and we are seeing like the pressures from that coming out. You know, I mean, you know, weak men make hard time.
Oh,
And we are about to
strong men
see-
build weak men. Weak
Well, and
men
here's-
build
here's the other thing.
Politicians build strong men because they build hard times.
So here's the other part of that, right? When does history repeat itself the most?
When you don't learn from it.
When you don't know nothing about it,
We don't
or
even-
don't learn about it.
We're not even hardly teaching it anymore. Which
Why
is
the
problem.
fuck are
So
why
we-
the fuck is our education system
we-
taking this shit
We
out of our
touched
books?
on this last podcast.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We really hit this hard. It was
I
like
watched it.
no, it's not even live. It's not out yet. You can watch shit.
But stay tuned.
But hey, you guys will see it by the time this is going. He has not seen it. 5th of July, he hasn't seen it. So, but no, we touched on it, it's like, we don't want to remove history. Because Ginger was even saying, we don't
Yeah.
want to remove history. We want you to learn from it. Cool, maybe the statue shouldn't be there. Fine.
Yeah.
But throwing him in the river, making it more work for the public, for the city,
not
maybe isn't the right option.
not teaching about people, or saying, or not teaching the context behind why people did things.
Right.
But we should still have the history. It was like, cool, maybe we fucked up. Maybe we should learn from
absolutely.
this.
Maybe we
But
shouldn't
don't
have
go-
given the Indians smallpox.
But don't go,
Okay.
oh, you don't see it.
Maybe
this,
we shouldn't
this
have taken
never
the land from
happened.
Indians.
I mean, shoot, we see this across the world. Britain owns India still, technically, loosely.
Do they?
I think they still have partial ownership. Do they not?
They,
I don't think
that's
so.
part
They
of
have,
the
think
they,
it's
they have
colonization.
certain like military territorial rights, much like we do Japan.
Territorial right. Yeah,
and
there you
stuff
go.
like that. But they relinquished overall control, but they still have a lot of influence.
There
So
you go.
here's-
Influence. That was the word I was like. They have influence.
Quick question: is Britain a world power anymore?
No.
Loosely,
What-
yes.
What is your definition? Are they a top
Ooh.
4? If they are, they're number 4 at the best.
Yeah, I could agree.
Yeah,
on
I
that
could
one.
agree to that.
You know, so if
I
you
mean,
say
'cause
if
we're
you,
one
if
and
you give them
two.
that much, then yes.
Oh,
Because
got some money.
U.S., Russia, China, then you're looking for the next one. It would definitely be Great Britain.
But hold on. I think China's a paper tiger.
I think I
Well,
actually support that. I think China's a paper
absolutely.
tiger.
I would agree with you, except for how much they've done in Africa.
No,
Right.
I'm not discounting that. But I think worldwide, they're a paper tiger for being a world power.
Here's where there's
Because
here's
of
where
the
they have
data.
some capability. Have they
Yeah, but
done
Great
it yet?
Britain is doing
Do I-
what they're
Have
doing
they
in
done it
Africa to
yet?
take over
No.
colonization.
However, where they are the manufacturing hub of the world at this point.
Agreed.
So
But
they
just
are
'cause you're-
positioned just from that perspective to be a world power. Now, from a military perspective, they haven't had to
Yes.
execute on that yet. And this is
from
what me and Mike
military aspect.
talk about this all the way. I don't believe China's going to do anything
I don't think they're going to touch
militarily
Taiwan.
until it would take an economic collapse where they would be impacted
Oh,
because
hands down.
they're going to love the money too much.
I think that we're seeing them getting close though, and I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
Because at some point, and you're seeing that is like, yes, I think that they're a paper tiger, but I think that they're going to start some shit to try and fuel their economy, because they're trying to transition away from a manufacturing economy right now, because their manufacturing has gone down, way down. Everyone's pulling
Yeah,
out,
a lot of
and
people
they're
pulling
trying to go to a service-based economy. But the problem with it is that a service-based economy doesn't function well in a communist society.
No, at all.
I mean, we're seeing this paper tiger across the board. It's
I mean,
okay, we're
the fucking their new assault rifle the new standard assault rifle, and it keyholing.
Anything they're manufacturing worldwide for worldwide use. We're talking about hard drives. We're talking about, I don't know, swing arms. We're talking about assault rifle. We have all these different things that they are advertising as. Oh,
Okay,
it's
she's
solid,
getting
it's
comfortable.
going great.
She's
You got
getting
it, Pearl.
She's getting comfortable.
You got it. Oh, she's up. She's up.
Yep.
Oh man,
She's just trying to get the right angle.
You got the,
that
He's
tail's more crooked than a politician.
she was trying to get that leg in.
But no, I still stand by. I think they're a paper tiger. Do they have military numbers? Possibly, but it's the same way. I think North Korea has military numbers.
You're probably right.
How-
I'm basing them on their potential.
How
Right.
healthy are these numbers?
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. You have 4 million people.
Yep.
But are 3 million of your people unhealthy?
Properly nourished, all that good
Like-
stuff.
Oh, I thought it had to do with like training. Like I knew they had a lot of people, but I didn't know if they had like the proper training
What's that?
in China. I didn't know if they had like I knew they had the number of people for war, but I didn't know if they had the proper training.
They don't struggle with training. Training isn't their issue. It's their
Populous.
well, it's not their
Well,
populace either.
Because
It's
they
their,
don't have. No, I think it's their populace. They don't have the numbers to actually support what they want based off of needing people to actually do it. Like, okay, we have the people,
Mhm.
but oh, you have these health issues. You have these health issues. You have these health issues because they have built this profile, pretty much, of all these issues medically that we exempt. So China has slowly gone down, I think, in their militaristic populace, their population. They're just in the military. I think that's where they're very quickly becoming paper tiger because they got into all the feelings.
Well,
it's
and-
it's not just
Okay, go ahead.
it's not just that. It's their equipment. They keep
oh, I was just
saying that
saying
they're-
one piece, not all the pieces.
yeah they keep saying that their equipment is so good and this that, and another, but when you dig down into it, it's like, nah, it's kind of shit.
I just don't want to ever discount them, especially when they're, I think, in.
Oh, you should never discount
We're having like
anyone
10,
that isn't-
15,000 Chinese coming over our border every month, and that's like been confirmed by like people that we know that work down there.
Yeah.
I
you
mean,
know.
we have like 1 million and change Middle Eastern, and we
Yeah.
got, I think, 500,000
And
Asian populace.
what's
and-
interesting is they're all military age men
Oh yeah.
with military haircuts.
I didn't do it.
And you're kind of thinking like,
Went.
okay, so what is the game plan? Now, could it be that some of them are just, fleeing China to freaking find a better way because they're just tired of the communist regime and all this other good stuff? Yeah, you hope there's a few in there. And by all means, even if they came up here with adverse ideas, the chances of some of them getting here realize, hey, this place is kind of awesome and that place kind of sucks, and you turn some of them that way, yeah, you're going to get it. But you have to kind of keep an eye on them for sure because, again, the second that they start losing some, financial might, then I think that's when we have to start really worrying about them.
Which is where we're going right now because they've been on the brink of collapse for a while. Rich Bro, do you got anything for
Well,
this?
no, because I was wondering, like, I know that a lot of Chinese immigrants are coming over, and I know that a lot of land is being purchased by Chinese
We've talked about
corporations.
this before
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
podcast.
So the great thing about the land being purchased by the foreign entities and by China is if we get into a conflict with them, all we have to do is be like,
And a mental.
all your bases is ours.
Yeah. That's a quick eminent domain thing
Yeah.
for national security,
And it's mine.
Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking more like, how do we know they're not planting somebody there and doing specifically?
No, they are doing.
Yeah,
Okay,
you could assume 1,000% they're
So, I mean,
monitoring everything we do.
live in South Texas,
Yep.
Middle Texas.
Yeah.
How come, federally, across the board,
Yep.
stateside, we haven't limited foreign nationals from buying land?
See, and I
Yeah.
do have an issue with this.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
cool, you're buying the petty onesie twosie things. Yes, now we know you're going corporate wise, but how come in the one road we go up to my buddy's ranch all the time, our buddy's ranch, there's 2 cartel homes on that? 2,
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, I've seen them.
like fully owned
Oh, no.
by alleged
Oh.
cartel.
Not even
You know what
alleged.
also is very, very interesting?
Yes.
Tithing based and giving money to the storehouse, biblical principle
Yeah.
that is
I worked
across the board.
Yeah.
The cartel tithe.
I worked with an ex-SAPD officer. and he was very, very candid about how this
Oh,
works
yeah.
here. And basically, where the rich cartel, this is like their retirement plan area. This is where they come. And this is why, so there's a big gang problem here in San Antonio in the mid 90s. I mean, it was huge. We had over 300 murders a year. And that's gone way down. And that's because the cartel came into San Antonio and said, this will stop. Now, there's still a lot of murders, but a lot of them now are more domestic stuff. Not so much the gang violence, because they came in and they put their iron claw. Now, when we see it kind of come back is when cartels are starting to fight each other. But the cartels came in. Cartels
we see this
run
in the
this
prison
town.
system. I've talked with some of our buddies, and the cartel is very strict inside the prison system. It's like, you will do this, you will do this, you will do this.
Hey. Lighting functions. Gotta
I
love
can
it.
only laugh.
Yeah, it's
Hey, wait, so I want to jump in on this because I just came from South Padre, and then I went to my son played in All-Stars for baseball recently, and we went to Corpus after South Padre to support my nephew, who's also been picked up for another team and went to World Series in Corpus, right?
Yep.
And I was talking to one of the parents that night who lives in Edinburgh, in the McAllen area of the valley.
Yep.
And he's like, I got friends in all kinds of places, right? Because you got certain people that are parents, their kids on these teams, their coaches, they're all these different individuals that I can't say online, right?
Yep.
But here's the thing. Like I talked to him about how Edinburgh and McAllen used to be bad, right? Like bad areas to visit, like 17th Street, et cetera, et cetera. And he said the same thing. When the cartel comes in, they clean shit up, right? But you can also tell where they own shit.
yes.
And if you don't want to get fucked with, you stay away from it.
Yes.
You know it's rules of the street, right? If you know the rules of the street, you're safe, you're fine. No, ain't nobody gonna fuck with you.
Yep.
But if you violate that, whether you know it or not, well,
Yeah, street boss has priority.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your feelings. This
Exactly.
is what we're doing because
Rich
I
Bro,
have the numbers.
So what is the purpose of them coming and cleaning up if they're unorganized?
Because they don't like the way it's being done.
So
exactly. And
organized
PD can't do shit.
organized crime
Mhm.
does not benefit from chaos,
Okay.
right?
They're a
Organized crime.
corporation.
Look at how the mafia used to do. The mafia controlled all the crime in every city that they were stationed.
Look at
Right.
what happened in New York after they busted all the crime families. Crime went through the fucking roof. Murders skyrocketed.
There's no one controlling it. If we have a controlling party in anything, politically, not politically, corporation-wise, non-corporate, if you have any one controlling party, one boss,
Mhm.
U.S. being the world police, we talked about that.
Yeah.
At a time, people were like, "Oh, America's in there? No, we're done. We're done fighting. We don't have to fight anymore."
That's why as the cartels have become older
Mhm.
and they've become more of an organization instead of gangs or anything like that, they have instilled more of a controlled environment.
They have a
is
controlled
because-
interest, yeah.
Is because that's how you make money.
Okay.
And Border Patrol, new recruits into Border Patrol down on the border are actually being told as they're graduating their schooling, you will get approached. You will be offered a shit ton of money.
Yep.
Your life will change. What you do in that moment, the decision you make, A or B, will change your life.
Well, this is what I thought was interesting about this.
But
I
you are
touched on a
owned
second
if
of
you
it.
choose the latter, you're owned for life. What I found interesting about that was the United States government knows this shit,
Yeah.
doesn't do shit to stop it,
Can't do anything about it.
and they work at the border, and all they have to do is, hey, 10 o'clock, this vehicle's coming through, look the other way. And that's all they do, $30,000 in their account.
Yeah, and I think part of that problem was it was about 10 years ago where we killed off the major cartel in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And for the next 5 years, there's pure chaos down there.
Yeah.
Yep.
People were getting hung from bridges. It was a madhouse. It was
Well,
an absolute
there's
madhouse.
one that's
And that's the dirty secret.
Well, this
and
is
there's
what I
one that
love
has,
about.
you know?
has regained control
We
of the
need
borders.
somebody to control.
This is something very interesting. Whether you're religious or not, there's a not even just Christian, but across the board. If you donate, if you give money to a storehouse, you will prosper.
Yeah.
The cartel's been doing this since they started. The mafias have been doing.
Mhm.
Because
even if
these
they're
are
not religious.
Hmm.
It was like they're giving 10% of their proceeds, and oh, cool. Well, our boss just died, and that's fine. We'll come back even greater, and they do.
Yeah.
Like it's happened every decade. We see a new big bad, and they're all donating to a storehouse. Mafia is another one. These warlords that do it, been around forever. It's like
And
holy
I
cow.
donated like crazy this month, and I lost my keys.
Well,
Well,
I don't.
there's
you
something
can't look
about
at it like that way, man.
There's maybe a reason for that. Maybe you need to drive less.
But
It's
hey,
interesting.
hey, I think this is a good time for intermission, guys.
Wow. Intermission.
Yeah.
Catch you guys in a minute.
Phone is ringing.
A very high declining birth rate. So the question is, would the reestablishment of arranged marriages at a certain age, got to figure out where this age is, help solve both of these problems?
Like 25 years
What-
old.
What
I
the
think
the
it's- What
was
idea
the first
behind this
problem again?
concept? The idea behind the concept would be that we teach people how to be in a relationship and how to truly be in love.
Question.
Sure.
As we continue to build out this baseline, are we going worldwide or just
Worldwide.
stateside? Okay.
Worldwide.
So this changes what you're asking is like what age? Maybe 25 in America. Well, no, this changes if we go worldwide.
Correct.
Because we have China, for example. Women for the past 10, 15 years have been told, oh, go and prosper, be a member of society. Now they're dignified members of society pushing things, so maybe this changes it. So maybe our number changed from 25 maybe to like 35, 37 roughly.
Somewhere of that.
Okay, so that's the issue. Who wants to go first in fixing it?
And what was the
What was
question?
the first
We
problem?
are
Which-
fixing,
The declining birth rate in these first world countries.
in your belief, going into what will be your fix for this
Sure.
is arranged marriages.
I believe it could be a very suitable. I think it could be a very suitable large piece of the puzzle.
So how do we fix the populace from declining versus inclining?
So the first thing you have to do, I think hopefully everybody agrees, is that it is more advantageous to be growing up in a society where you have a mother and a father, or at least two parents, however
The
people want to
nuclear
go.
family.
The nuclear family, right? And it's best for everybody if those people are committed in a relationship.
So we're taking away divorce at this point at the
Well, there's some cases where divorce makes sense. It does. If somebody's beating their wife all the time, or a woman can't stop cheating on
okay,
her
so
husband,
physical abuse being one of them.
Correct,
Okay, so
yeah.
there's extenuating
correct.
circumstances.
But
you're
now
saying-
it's all fault.
Make
Everything would be a
divorce
fault.
more difficult.
Correct.
Right.
Well, you have to justify it better. Today it's just too
It
willy
needs to be
nilly.
better justified.
I'm not
Okay.
happy. Where the fuck that?
That means I,
mean,
just
in
want to fuck
America,
around.
it should be
Correct.
less advertising for divorce. Like,
Correct. But the
lawyers
idea
on
is-
every street corner
But
saying, "Hey,
we're-
get a
we're
divorce.
touching
It's easy."
worldwide, not even just America.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying, like in
Oh, hands
America,
down, yeah.
I
We
don't know
should
about
be
other
more-
countries.
More versatile. It should be a little bit harder, like Mike said. It
Mhm.
should.
Should also
hands
be
down.
harder to get married.
But the concept is the more people you get married, the more likely, not guaranteed, but the more likely are they're going to procreate. All right.
You're right, because everybody wants to.
Now, there's some things you have to pitch,
fun.
like the cost of housing and stuff like this. So you have to incentivize it, and you have to make the parameters that surround this whole thing work.
I mean,
Right.
they've been trying to push basic cost of living allowance, so maybe that comes down with that. If you're married, you get this.
Basically, yeah. Try to incentivize it, or even more. If
we
you
need
have
an
kids,
incentive. Yeah.
I mean, military has that incentive.
exactly.
So, to add to what you're saying,
Yep.
Not only for an arranged marriage, because we talked about this,
Mhm.
it forces you. It forces you to choose to love the person you're with, because otherwise it can just be flat out miserable,
Mhm.
right? But let's bring back the historical marriage of if you don't consummate the same night,
Mhm.
the marriage is null and void,
Okay.
just like an annulment. But here's the con to here's what could be a possible con
Sure.
to arranged marriages. In historical arranged marriages, it was an agreed upon between two fathers of what is being traded. Your
Yeah, there's a
daughter, which
value.
brings
She was a value, and
Which-
he had to pay the value.
right. So what does the daughter bring,
Mhm.
other than possible children?
I mean, yeah.
So that could be a potential con. Like, for instance, I have a 20-year-old daughter. If I did a prearranged marriage for my daughter, it would be, okay, well, what does your son, what does your family, how are you going to provide for the fact that you're taking my daughter?
And,
Right.
And I think part of your question, I think this is where the nuance between different cultures is going to come in a little bit, right? We're probably, most of our cultures are not, I'm giving you 2 sheep and a cow, for your daughter anymore, right?
Or like in the times of Vikings, how much land do I get?
Exactly.
Well, okay, so
Whereas
I
now
think,
today
I
it's
think
more-
we have a decent baseline.
Yep.
Rob set it up.
And you gave your solution, your general solution, or at least a piece of the puzzle for your solution.
Correct.
All right, so let's jump over to who wants
Rich-
to hop in next.
Well,
Rich
so,
bro.
I mean, I'm kind of curious about this because, like, if you're trying to fix childbearing issues,
Yeah.
right? So, are you talking about making it to where you have a
We're trying to
specific race?
simply put, we're trying
carry on a-
increase the populace again.
So
In one way or
realistically,
another. That
And
is-
reduce the male versus female war.
Yeah.
That's
So-
happening.
with King for an issue, you, for the longevity of this issue, no matter how long it takes to fix the complexity of this issue, you are in charge.
Okay.
So anything you say goes.
Okay.
So based off of that, based off of having ultimate power for this specific issue, solve the problem.
Well, I kind of feel like if you're gonna meet somebody and they have to give you like what they have to offer, I would like. I mean, I'm kind of picky now when it comes to women. Like,
Shocker.
I want to make sure that they have a lot to offer me. That it's not just like, oh yeah, I can just bring you kids. Or,
Okay. I mean, what? That's actually
know,
a pretty solid standpoint.
Like, like I want them to actually be there and like be an encouragement to me.
have intellectual,
intellectual,
emotional. Yeah, you're looking
emotional.
for a helpmate.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Yeah. So like if I'm struggling with something, I'm gonna know they've got my back throughout that entire process.
Looking for more than an object.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the.
But I'm also looking for an object, even if she is my helpmate. I'm looking for an object because
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch you in the kitchen
Yeah.
Well, and like-
And in the laundry room.
and in the laundry
And
room.
in the bedroom.
And,
And
at the
those are the
couch
only 3
with the
places
throw.
because those are the only 3 places you should be.
Now,
And
what
look,
if I
and
told
look, you got a kid.
your mom is going to vet this woman?
Yeah.
And she's done those checks for you.
But how
You're-
far do I care about my mom's opinion in a modern
Well,
day?
So-
and this is like I said, this is where it's a big piece of the puzzle. Is the full fix? Maybe not, but I believe it can be a major.
And see, that's part of the issue right there, Keeper, is the lack of respect for what your mom's opinion is.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. So
I'm not
when
saying that
me
you
and my
disrespect
wife-
your mom, right?
when me and my wife got engaged, my mom's like, "It's okay if you say no. Just cry, and it'll be fine. I'll still take the photos." And over here, like, "Damn, mom, can we not put nails in my coffin before we even start?"
Damn. Yeah.
Like, my
Yeah.
mom did not. Me and my mom have a very real relationship.
Sure.
I'll call her
Yeah.
and I'll be like, "Hey, mom, I need this," or she'll call me as like, "I don't need my son. I need the pastor.
Yeah.
I need the ordained you."
Yep.
And it's just like, I
And-
hate
O-
this.
okay.
But
And this
let's,
is
let's
great.
get back to.
So I don't like for me, I'm pretty close to my mother, and her opinion weighs deeply on who I'm with.
but you're still looking for your parents' opinion based on this king furnish. Like, you still want the
So-
value there.
So
Well, yeah.
how are you going to solve the problem?
Yeah, where's the fix?
Where's the fix? I don't know. Maybe we need to get like a group of moms together that actually have like.
So
High
we are going to
standards.
build a board of mother. Well,
You heard it here first. Board of mama.
But wait a minute. If you think about it, to a degree, this makes sense because back in the olden days, in the villages,
There was a
the
board of
women-
moms and there was a board of males.
yeah, the women got together, and before anyone got married, those women already pretty much knew
Yeah.
who was going to marry who.
And the cool thing about this, we also had very similar aspect, board of the males, board of dads. It was like, look, I want to marry so-and-so. I want to marry my soon-to-be wife. I want to marry this person. So I go to the court gates, the gates of the town, and be like, look, I want to marry Rich Broad's daughter, or Rob's daughter, or Mike's daughter. Okay, well, it costs this much. She's of this much value to me. And I do that around the populace of people that are out there, all males.
Yeah.
And now it's publicly notified, and now it's up to you to either accept or decline. So
Yeah.
having a board of moms wouldn't be a wrong idea, because historically we have a board of guys,
Yeah.
dads.
Yeah. And with both of those, it's not only just the trade. It's they're both making sure the standards
Yep.
are
and
met.
we build
and
a
they're doing the
standard.
vetting and everything like that.
And
Because
these parents know their kids better than their kids know their kids.
Yeah.
So if they're like, yeah, no, they're probably really bad for each other, those pair of parents getting together and being like, yeah, no, this isn't going to work out,
Right.
it's probably not going to work out.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
bueno. He smokes too much, and
Yeah,
she's against
yeah.
smoke,
Yeah.
or
I-
no
I-
bueno. He's a drinker.
I think it's hard for us to
Fuck,
see
I
it
feel
today
targeted.
because, when you look about the
Mm.
society today, so many people have lost any morals or values and stuff like this. I mean, how many people just care about so little about life is amazing, and
Yeah.
other people's lives. So this is a king for an issue
It's
to make this
complex.
happen.
Yeah.
However, this is like the first step. It doesn't get better for another couple of generations.
yeah.
Really, this is just the building blocks to build
This is
towards
the
that.
start.
Yeah.
Correct.
Is there anything else,
It's
Mike,
Yeah.
Rich?
oh, go ahead.
The
You,
only thing I was
you would want to add a mom into
so
this.
adding the mom into this,
Yeah.
building a board of moms might be potential.
well, so I think courtship should also go be part of it.
Yes,
Agreed. Yeah.
absolutely agreed.
I
I'm
agree.
100% on board with you.
And then you can arrange it as early, and then I don't know what the age group would be, but I mean
let's
courtship
say,
used to
let's
start,
say,
like,
let's
at
say-
age-
let's
So
Yeah.
real
make
quick,
the arrangement
because
at 13 and they court till they're 18.
Yeah.
I have friends that have
one
an arranged
second,
marriage. They started at 9. So, and they're happily married with 3 kids.
1 second. What is courtship?
So courtship is my thought of courtship is you are specifically getting to know that person and their family.
You're saving
And-
your stuff. Yeah.
And how are you going about this? Break out the process for me in about a minute.
Okay, so you go to the parents, hey, I'm interested in your daughter, I want to marry her, and then you get to know everything about the daughter and the family, and you grow together as a family unit.
Correct.
And the whole process is to get married.
yeah.
And
the
so when you
intention
go
is
on
to get
date,
married.
It's what do you call it? It's you got a chaperone. There's no
You either have a chaperone or you don't, depending on where you're at in the process.
Yeah.
But normally someone is over you.
Yeah.
Over you,
Mhm.
loosely, just watching, make sure you're not doing anything frisky.
it's respectful.
But
yeah.
yeah, no, I mean,
and I'm asking this because I do not know, because I've never done any classical courtship.
courtship. I mean, I try to ask for
I've done dating.
my current
So,
wife's
courtship-
dad. I try to ask her dad. They weren't on good terms. So I was like, well, then can I ask your mom? If I can't get number 1, can I get number 2? And she was like, oh yeah, you can add. Me and her are talking, and
I asked no one.
And-
I asked her.
even to date. But that's how I was raised. It was like, you need to ask permission to date. I was like, okay.
Yep.
And I even asked, I was like, can I court your daughter? Because my goal to date is to eventually marry. And
Yeah,
if
right.
halfway through this courtship, I'm like, nope, I'm not loving what you're about, then I'm done and I'm out. So
But the courtship is also it's sexless. Like there's
Yeah.
no freaky
well, yeah,
freaky,
because you're dating, you should
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
You're not testing the car.
You're
before you buy it.
absent. You're absent.
abstinent. Yeah.
Was that you?
What?
Was that your
Me?
solution?
Yeah.
A combination of a
What?
board of moms and courtship.
Okay.
Okay. So
Mike's
I,
gonna fuck up our world.
so here's the thing: is I actually agree with both of y'all's things. I think y'all have some of the pieces for everything, but I do think this is a cultural issue, And what is it that I always say, gentlemen?
It's a complex issue.
It's a
with
complex situation. It requires a complex answer.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely, 1000%.
Mhm.
As
Make sure you tickle that subscribe.
over time.
Which is why King for an issue is such a great topic, because there's no direct issue.
Right.
There's no way to fix it in a 5-minute statement.
Unless you're
But unless
king
you're
for
me,
the
because
issue.
I'm about to fix your world.
and realistically is we need to have a cultural perception change. Like I don't know how you go, like I'm not smart enough, like I'm not a sociologist, I don't know how you go about making, but we need to have a cultural perception change which stops holding up one night stand and sex and pornography and like
unattainable standards for procreation.
unobtainable standards, because I'm still waiting on that cheerleader bus to fucking show up. Fucking
Unattainable standards.
15 years
Yeah,
later.
he's an oil boy.
Showing up at your house.
Hell yeah.
I mean, if you want
But-
the Dallas Cowgirls at your house, just turn on my Plex server and throw season 1 on.
But no, I mean, all jokes aside, realistically, is we need to give. We need to apply cultural standards to give a better concept of what to expect from a relationship, right? But what comes with that is like, yes, we need to also inform these people, because at no point in time should someone not be learning what a clitoris is until they go into a sex store.
Oh, that's
Okay.
the thing above the booty hole.
At no point in time should people be learning about lubrication and the uses of lubrication until they're well into their 30s, 40s, or 50s. Okay?
Yeah, their only education is the
Is
bond.
sex
pornography.
ed
Yeah,
and
that's
porn.
terrible.
And guess what?
Yeah.
All the porn positions, they're useless.
Man, let me tell you something else about that sex thing.
Hold on.
Well, yeah,
Hold on,
so
Rich.
what
I was
what I
about
was
to
gonna
say
say
something.
is like, so I did do a courtship earlier on in my years with the intention to marry. And I remember, like, as we progressed within the courtship, I did not learn, like, my parents forbid me to learn about the birds and bees.
And that is wrong.
And then it wasn't until
Opinionated.
like I was
But-
like, hey, I'm getting
It's an
married.
opinion.
And then my dad was like, okay, let's sit down and talk about the birds and the bees.
But the
Regardless of
bees,
what
do
you
bees
say, it's
actually
still an
have
opinion.
intercourse, though?
You know?
Do
Do what?
the birds and bees actually have intercourse?
Oh yeah, all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah,
definitely.
they do.
I've never seen it.
I feel like not informing someone of the birds and the bees is setting them up for absolute abject failure.
Oh, agree. Even with me saying
bro.
it's
And so
opinionated,
I grew up
still
pretty
think-
naive, you know,
Yeah.
learning
Well,
about different relationships.
I
And,
do think.
And
you
I think
about
a key, while that is extremely important, right? To being a true loving relationship marriage, you have to learn this isn't individuals anymore.
Yep.
You are now one.
Yes.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
And
and
it-
size shouldn't matter.
It is a
yeah,
different-
you know too. Well, yeah, you become one person. I mean, because this is what it's supposed to be. That's
Right.
absolutely what it's supposed to be.
It
Because
is a
You become one
union.
flesh.
it's a union. You are one, and
You should fit perfectly together.
that's probably
No.
probably what
No.
brings me to this issue the most is because that issue gets lost now, and we're all like, no, you slay, you be the best you be the
Yeah.
best you, all this, and
No.
we do it for men and women.
No, but
Yes.
I
Yeah,
understand,
we do it for both.
I understand where you're coming from. I
Yeah.
understand where Rich is coming from. It's like, look, I get it. Like, there's a solid freaking point. There's like, well, I plan on getting married. I plan on. It's just like, but I don't know about this. So I mean, you get to a point where it's like, I know it's in your pants.
Mhm.
I was like, well, yeah, all our privates are in our pants. Like my no-no square, sure, but I don't know past that.
Yeah.
It was like, well, that just looks like a front butt. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
There still needs to be,
There needs to be education.
and
Yes.
that's the point I disagree with. It was like there should still be some value. There should be knowledge still shared.
I should know where the clitoris is.
I should
Gotta play.
understand human anatomy.
Yes.
Not even just human anatomy.
Yes.
I should understand the uterus, knowing
It-
I
it-
may
and not-
never reach that
And
far.
not just that, but and I wish Ginger was here for this because she would agree. You should not just know your own anatomy. You should
Which
know.
one was it? Come and take it.
Yeah, go and say. But you should know your partner's anatomy. You should know as a man, you should know what's going on in the vagina
You
and the
should-
repercussions of just sex.
Yeah.
Like the and I'm not talking about pregnancy, but I'm talking about pH imbalances, hormonal imbalances, everything
your
else.
UTIs, your yeast
Yes.
infections,
Yeah.
your period. You should, and if
You
you,
should
don't
be
have
aware
shit
of
there
that.
at your house,
Yeah.
buy it. It's cheap, and you know what? Your people are gonna appreciate
Yeah.
it.
But my stance is a cultural perspective change
Sure.
on how we treat relationships and sex in general. Keeper?
I'm totally gonna be that guy.
Wait,
But
can I say something about the sex thing first? Before
Sure,
we
go ahead.
on to you?
Before I go into me,
Women need to communicate. If let's get rid of the porn, let's get rid of the all the bullshit that's out there, right? Women need to start telling the men, I like it like this.
you know what's gonna happen with
I
I
that?
like it like that.
When you build open communication.
Absolutely.
When you build open communication, it's a two-way street versus you
Where does
wanting
that
them
start,
to
though? It starts with the man being
Oh,
vulnerable.
okay,
It
hold
starts
on.
with the man.
Let him
Yes.
do his piece.
Right now.
Mine's pretty simple. I'm also married. I have a kid. I don't have an issue. And the few people I talk to that are out of it, it was like
Yeah.
every time we go out, it was like, I'll be your wingman. Let's go.
Yeah.
And I make sure I do my hair. I'm wearing somewhat appropriate. I'm pushing through all the wingman stuff. It's like, okay, so if I peacock and a woman comes by and is like, oh, have you met my friend Mike?
Yeah.
Like, everything I'm doing, I'm getting all gussied up, and we're just going to a bar, but I still get gussied up. But I don't have an issue with how it works, because how I built myself, how I built my own intention of this, was the same way you guys are all talking about.
Yeah.
And I don't think the way you guys are talking about should be universal, because not everyone's like me. What you guys are talking about is everything I did
Yeah.
to get married. And same thing me and Mike have talked about for King for an Issue. Just because it works for me,
Yep.
not even King for an Issue, doesn't mean it works for everyone. This was on the porn tracking we were talking about. Well, I think it should be this. And I voted for the bill that came out.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually in favor of that too.
And I'm not.
But it also goes down to, well, the parents should do it. To me, this is along the same issue. To me, it is. It was like, well, the way I see dating, the way I see courtship, the way I see partnership in the future, marriage, and the way you guys are talking is how I built it. So I don't have a change, because everything you guys talked about is what I did. So I'm biased 10 years in.
Yeah.
You asked me 11 years ago, maybe it would have changed. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Celt,
I think
fix it.
okay, so first of all, I agree with the getting rid of the porn thing, because a fifth grader told my fourth grader
Oh dear God.
how to go about looking at porn in incognito mode
I talked
on an
about this.
iPad,
Yeah.
and he got busted doing it at a Toyota dealership.
And I talked about this specifically. It was like, cool, they blocked it for open URL.
Mm.
But if
But
you really want to, without throwing your ID in, and this is what, 10 episodes ago now?
Yep.
It was like, all you gotta do is go incognito and turn off blur, and you can see everything you want.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to see how 100% they did this, and they didn't.
right.
No.
You just, it's a lock on your
and-
door. It's
Okay.
keeping
But
people honest.
But a fifth grader's telling my son how to go look at naked women and how to have sex, basically. And I'm blown away by this, right? Because that's another personal matter. But my simple fix for all of this: more sperm banks. Netflix just released a
What? Wait.
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
What?
Hold on, no. Oh,
Nope.
hold
Let's
on.
go here.
Is this a fix
I'm
for
listening,
what?
listening.
What
This
is-
for the decline in population.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're listening now.
Okay.
You got our attention.
Okay, Netflix just released a series, One Man's 1,000 Kids.
Oh dear God. I know
Yes,
they released
sir.
a movie
story.
and
Yes.
he had like 800, 300 kids.
No, it's close to 1,000. Here's the thing, he went and donated once a month for 4 days for 4 years.
So every
They
4
take-
days he's donating for
Every
4 years.
every month for 4 days.
Oh, 4 days
during-
in a row?
Yeah, he's donating. He can give up to 200 donations in that 4 day period.
It's not just the amount. it's the cost.
Right. And so here's the thing. They're also paying this guy however much, $30 a donation.
No, it's how much the women are paying
Oh yeah.
to get inseminated.
$15,000.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
That's after in vitro. Right? So they were already done the pre.
Because I've got a friend who has at this point, before she finally got a kid, spent $40,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So-
mean, my aunt on my wife's side, they've done it multiple times, but America wasn't pushing it, so they went outside of country to do the same thing. And
So,
they spent
Kel,
6 figures.
But they need to make it more privatized. Right? They need to make it more regulated.
regulated, maybe not privatized.
Because
but I'm listening.
what's happening is are these women are going into they have money, are going into sperm clinics and saying, hey, I want this
By the way, it's for
type
bank, not
whatever clinic. They get
clinic.
yeah.
You don't know what we're talking about.
we,
that.
we got the two oldest.
Big O.
$2.5 million.
I love that she was from Texas.
Kindergarten. Hey,
two.
on the
Bless
next
you.
podcast, we'd like to
Bless
talk
you.
about a kindergarten teacher who got fired and got $2.5
I
million.
didn't know she was a kindergarten teacher.
Yes,
but
sir.
Continue.
Anyway,
I marry that woman.
Of course
she
you
made,
would.
and she's about to make $2.5 million on a contract for Hak Tui. Anyway, so the artificial insemination is a booming business if done correctly, but women need to stop having a choice on color, creed, size, height, intelligence of the male, because what's the point? If I'm a retard and go done in a cup, who's gonna buy my shit?
I
No,
probably
you
got
know
a
what I
more
mean?
controversial view on what you just said.
Right?
Let's go.
Lesbian couples, I'm cool with. If the man he literally can't get his wife pregnant, I'm cool with that. Everybody else, the answer is no.
Why?
I don't want to make it an option
Okay.
because I want 2-parent household.
Okay, so then in that case, let's go to your theory earlier
Mhm.
of this artificial intelligence being ruled by an alien.
Sure.
If our brains can be rewired and our bodies can be rewired and things can happen,
Sure.
well, just like sea turtles, the climate degree of temperature in the sand determines the sex of the turtle that is born.
Okay.
Same thing happens to a child.
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, let's
That gets a
continue
little
this
deep, but-
offline.
So we're gonna have to hold this offline.
Yeah.
But
Make
it's
sure you
been
tickle
fun
that
hanging out
subscribe.
with you guys.
Hey guys, this has been name pending.
This is name pending.
I'm Mike Culberson.
But before we start that, throw a like out to all your first responders, all your military
Yeah,
veterans.
I need you to
Tell 'em
support
thank
your
them.
boys
Yep.
and your girls
So also thank you to both Rob and Rich
and
for
Rich.
coming out. But
And
as
me.
Mike says,
I need you to fuck that like button.
throw a comment down below. I'll respond. And as Kelt says,
Tickle that subscribe, baby.
but hey girl, hey, that's been name pending.
He's
Well,
been keeper,
I'm still keeper.
and I'm still Mike.
Hey Mike, hey.
Hey.
And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Deuces.
Cool.